Welcome to Breaking News. I'm Miley, and I will bring you the latest updates on today. Democratic optimism about the 2018 midterms reached crescendo level this winter after improbable wins in special elections in Alabama and western Pennsylvania. Liberals began to predict a blue wave, a sweeping series of electoral victories comparable to the GOP's 2010 successes that would vindicate the resistance and shake Donald Trump's power. But now Trump's approval ratings are ticking up. The generic palette polls are tightening, and Senate races across the country are shaping up to be much more competitive than Democrats had hoped in states like West Virginia, North Dakota, and Indiana. Even safer-looking Democratic senators like Bill Nelson in Florida and Sherrod Brown in Ohio are facing extremely well-funded opponents with solid statewide name recognition. Though it feels like the odds for liberals have gone from overwhelmingly positive to desperate quickly, the reality is a bit duller. As a country, we have, in many ways, failed to process some of the key lessons of the 2016 campaign. Model-sized polling errors are common, events are important to politics, and they are inherently unpredictable. But Democrats retain an edge in the poll, and the results from California continue to suggest that Democrats are modest favorites to win a House majority. Back in the final week of 2017, Democrats held a generic pilot polling advantage that averaged 13 points or more. The numbers have pounced up and down since then, but then general trend has been a Republican's favor. Democrats now have an advantage of roughly 5.5 points. This narrowing has been happening for some time and is not a sudden news event. 2 months ago, for example, Democrats were 8 points ahead, meaningfully better than their current numbers, but also far worse than the December numbers. It's worth saying that by the time of Carol Lam's surprise victory in the PA 18 special election, the Democratic lead was already down to only 8.5 points. Most of the narrowing, in other words, happening before Democrats' most impressive special election victory rather than representing a recent deterioration. It's become common in recent years to speak about certain elections. 2006 for the Democrats, 2010 for Republicans, as representing metaphorical waves. A lot of 2018 commentary has ended up focusing on this metaphor. That in turn has tended to devolve into a kind of semantic quibbling over that a wave seat. If Democrats secure a narrow one-seat majority in the House, is that really a wave? Does it matter that due to gerrymandering, securing a narrow majority would almost certainly entail a large 6 or 7-point win in the popular vote? If Democrats carry the popular vote by 5 points and pick up 22 Houses and 1 Senate seat despite a very unfavorable map, is that a non-wave just because it would leave the GOP in possession of razor-thin majorities in both bodies? It's impossible to say for sure what the policy consequences of different midterm outcomes will be, but we can genuinely predict this with a good deal more certainly than we can forecast election outcomes. Democrats, conversely, will use even a very narrow majority to try to aggressively investigate Trump administration scandals while trying to force the administration to moderate its course on immigration and health care. A Senate that continues in Republican hands will keep confirming federal judges at a record pace and substantially reshape the federal judiciary, whereas a Democratic House Senate will follow confirmations down and force compromises on some key selections. A Democratic Congress will try to raise the minimum wage, and Trump may well agree. A Republican Congress will not. We also know that Even the 226 and 266 are similar numbers. The difference between a small majority and a large minority is very consequential in somewhat predictable ways, and people would almost certainly be better off spending time debating those differences, pros and cons, than speculating about the odds. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the duration of today's program. Thank you for watching.